Back in the early days of my channel, I spent a lot of time just going through and talking about some cool prompts that I'd come up with. And now I'm going through and doing the same thing again. Today I have a really advanced prompt to get incredible results from your characters if you're writing fiction. And I just want to walk you through it. And this includes a brand new technique, at least new for me. It's kind of derived from some techniques that I have heard about. And let's be clear, I have not seen any prompts or anything. I've just heard about this technique from the folks over at Future Fiction Academy. And really, I only have just an idea of the concept of what they were doing. Again, I haven't seen any of their actual prompts in use. So I just kind of took the concept and made it my own. But I just want to make sure we give credit where credit's due for the concept of this. All right, so this right here is my prompt, and it's quite a lengthy prompt. Starts here, it keeps going for quite a while, as you can see, and still going, and there it is. All right. So if you want to get this document is available to those who sign up for my waiting list, which you can find a link to down below, and it is free. If you want to get this document, it has all of my other prompts that I've talked about as well. But this one starts, the goal of this one is it's meant to expand one character at a time. So this is not a prompt to flesh out all of your characters all at once. This is a little bit more fine-tuned for just one character at a time, but we'll go really in depth on that character, and you can run this on each of your different characters until you have a document with all of them. So this is a little bit what it looks like. First of all, we got to establish the genre, because certain genres will, depending on what genre it is, it'll have an effect on the type of character that you are working with. So I have these little XML tags here to say this is essentially a box where your story or your genre tropes go. So you want to insert any relevant tropes for your genre here. Then we get into this fun little thing that I'm calling the slider rubric. And this is a lengthy section of the prompt. So my slider rubric, the idea behind this is that we have, I think, 15 or so different sliders that represent different personality aspects of the character. All right. And I don't know about you, but my emotions can fluctuate sometimes. And what these sliders do is they allow your character's emotions to fluctuate in the story as well. So you might have a character who is the nicest person ever, but put them under enough stress and they could murder somebody, or, you know, what I'm saying? Like it's something that can change depending on the situation. So what this does is it allows us to establish our baseline numbers for each slider. So I have here below is a 5-point rubric for each slider mapped to -10, -5, 0, 5, and 10. You can interpolate in between. Example is -7 as between -10 and -5. And then we get into the individual sliders themselves. So this first one is stress versus calm. So like a -10 would be really stressed, and a +10 would be really calm. So that's kind of how this works. And then we actually spell out what those look like. And I don't give every single number, but this does give you -10, -5, 0, 5, and 10. So for this specific one, going between stress and calm, we say -10 is they're on the verge of a breakdown, panicky, scattered, unable to think straight, body overloaded, like shaking, sweating, racing thoughts. So they're basically having a panic attack and like having genuine physical issues from their stress. -5, they are noticeably tense, snappy, irritable, distractible, overreacts to small problems, catastrophizes internally. A 0 is manageably pressured, feels strained but can stay functional, may be curt but keeps perspective. A 5 is relaxed and easygoing, handles setbacks with patience, recovers quickly from annoyances. A 10 is deeply serene, almost meditative, unflappable even in crises, acts as a stabilizing presence for others. So that's the slider here in the case of stress to calm. Okay. -10 is super stressed. A +10 is deeply calm. And then I have sliders for a bunch of different things. I think I've got 15 of them here. So we've got one that goes from fear on one end to courage. I'm not going to read each of these individually because we'd be here all day. We've got one that goes through from suspicion on one end to trust on the other. callous to empathetic, impulsivity to self-control, dominance to submission, pessimism to optimism, introverted to extroverted. I actually decided to make this one a slider. I originally was going to make this just like a common personality trait, but I realized that, at least for me, my level of introversion and extroversion does actually change depending on the situation. So sometimes I might be more extroverted. Sometimes I want more alone time. Depends on what happens. Like, for instance, if some tragedy happened and I'm super depressed, I'm going to want to be more introverted, you know? So I made this a slider instead. And then we have gut to logic. So are they gut driven or are they logic driven? Detail focused or big picture. So if they're negative, it means they're more detailed focused. If they're more in the positive, they're thinking more big picture. Cautious versus risk taker. Seriousness versus humor. Like a 10 is a constant jokester. Whereas a negative 10 is grave, rarely jokes, treats most topics solemnly, uncomfortable with levity. Quick break. Most people watch these videos, nod along, and then don't actually write. I built my Story Hacker membership to fix that. For just $9 a month, you get all of my books, which are over $200 if you bought them on Amazon, as well as the bulk of my courses and a community of writers all helping each other win. And that's all inside the community, so you've got one place to go and get your dream books written. If that sounds good to you, just hit the link in the description, join the $9 tier, and we'll get you onboarded. Deception to honesty. Stability to sensitivity, or like as in like ego fragility. So a negative 10 means they're unshakable, and a positive 10 means they're extremely fragile. Like small comments feel like attacks. Frequent shame spikes, may lash out or withdraw dramatically. I'm sure we all know some people like that. Then the next one is shame to self-worth. So negative 10, they're super shameful. At a positive 10, they have really high self-worth. And that's it. That's the slider rubric. Let me know in the comments if there are any others that you would slip in here. I think there were 15 of these. So that's the slider rubric part of this. And it's a key part of this prompt. And then I give it these XML tags and have you insert your story dossier here. This prompt assumes that you have a story dossier, or at least a detailed overview of what your story is, and maybe a list of characters and everything first before we get to this part. In my story dossiers, I typically have a summary of the plot, quick summary of the plot, like a few paragraphs for the whole thing, a list of characters, and a list of world building and setting elements as well. And that's so we just have a kind of broad, high level view of the book itself that it can draw from. Otherwise, it's going to be pulling in a bunch of random, unnecessary, and non-relevant details. So make sure you do have at least a high level view of your book and include that here. Additionally, you might just have other random things that you want it to know, like, oh, this character has this issue, and I want to make, or this happened in their backstory, or they have a scar here, or, you know, whatever notes that you want to make sure are included, you can put those here. And then we get to the instructions, which goes something like this. Given the above brain dump information, genre tropes, and story dossier, I want you to create a fleshed out character sheet for this specific character. Then you want to insert your character name here. It should know who that is because the story dossier was inserted earlier. First, determine if this character is a major or minor character in the story. You can reference this dossier to see if they are. If they are a major character, I want you to generate the following. And I do this so because minor characters do not need the same level of fleshing out. So we want to make sure that we aren't spending too much time or tokens on them. But for the major characters, we want a physical description, their primary role in the story, i.e. protagonist, antagonist, love interest, henchman, etc. Their most appropriate Myers-Briggs profile, the Enneagram and Clifton strengths, their core motivation, what is their heart's desire that is driving them most of the time, a brief explanation of their background before the start of the story, an interesting quirk, hobby, or something that makes them unique. This should be something that doesn't necessarily fit with the story, but makes the character more interesting. The dialogue style, how do they talk? Number 8 is slider levels. Select the baseline numbers on each of the slider levels based on the slider rubric found above. These are just the baselines for this character, the level of their slider most of the time. So you might be mostly introvert most of the time, in which case it would probably pick a number like -4 or something for that particular slider. But that's just your baseline, because all of these things can fluctuate, and that's something that we determine later when we're going through each chapter and figuring out, okay, where is this character on all of these sliders for this chapter? And that can just add a little bit more depth and make it so that they're less copy paste, right? Then the character arc. Every major character should have a character arc, aka a change that they undergo from the beginning of the story to the end. The protagonist will usually have a positive character arc unless the genre dictates otherwise, but not all major characters have positive arcs. Villains, for example, might have a change, but it won't necessarily be positive. Your job is not to produce a happily ever after for each character, it is to be a brutal storyteller. Do not invent major story information that is not included in the dossier. Here's something of the information you'll need for this, here's some of the information you'll need for this, and an explanation of what that looks like. How they begin. So this is another major thing that I added to my character prompts, is really plotting out the character arc for each one. And so each of these are like key moments in their character arc that I want to make sure we establish early on. This will help us later when we're doing outlining, for instance, because the character arc is so tied to the plot and the outlining. So how they begin. Every character starts somewhere, and they usually have something to learn or do. At the start of the story, they don't have this yet. How they have changed by the end. By the end of the story, something should have changed. They are no longer the person they were at the beginning. They have learned something, changed in some way, for good or bad, depending on the type of arc. And that is evident in their interaction with the other characters. What pushes them into joining the events of the plot? Every character starts in their own little ordinary world where they are comfortable. And the plot, at some point, pushes them into action. For the protagonist, this is usually at the bridge between Act 1 and Act 2, where they have to make the conscious choice to leave their ordinary world and become proactive. But other characters go through a similar moment, though it can be earlier or later in the plot, depending on the character. Their midpoint moment. The protagonist goes through another switch from passive to active at the midpoint of the story, but every character arc should have a midpoint-like moment, even if it's not quite aligned with the midpoint of the story overall. This is the moment when they become more proactive. And then the climax moment. Somewhere in the climax of the story, though not necessarily all at the same time, every character arc experiences a climax. The moment when they fully embrace the change that needs to happen for them to complete their arc. If the character is a minor character, so everything that we just went through is for major characters. And then here's the instructions for the minor characters. If the character is a minor character, just output 2 to 3 sentences that give us a brief understanding of their background, their core desire, and their relationship to the plot. So I really don't need much for them. Format your list using Markdown in the following format. If a major character, output the following format. We have the main major character's name, and then the physical description, role in the story, personality profiles, core motivation, background, quirk, dialogue level, slider levels. And then I list all of the slider levels here. Insert baseline level here as a whole numeral for each of those. Character arc, how they begin, how they have changed by the end, what pushes them into joining the events of the plot, their midpoint moment, their climax moment. If a minor character, output in the following format. Minor character name, description, 2 to 3 sentence description here. Only include the asked for character details. Do not add any preamble, commentary, or anything other than what I've asked for above. And that is the advanced character fleshing out prompt, whatever you want to call it. I'm pretty happy with this. I think this is an excellent prompt. I've gotten really good results with it so far, and I'll show you in a future video how I've managed to incorporate this into an automation, which will do all of my characters for me. Once again, if you want to get your hands on this prompt and all of the other prompts in this prompt list, make sure to do so by joining the waiting list at the link below, and I will see you there.